All right, everybody. Ah, here it is. We're gonna get on the bus here. All right, we've got some people. I'm gonna go ahead and get started because the bus is coming soon, but I'll periodically update people on what I'm doing. So, yesterday was June 29th, 2025. I am in Washington, D.C. Specifically, I'm actually close to the Kennedy Center. Over there's the Saudi Arabian Embassy. Over there's Watergate, where, Watergate happened. And then in front of me is the Kennedy Center, so I'm in the Foggy Bottom neighborhood. And the reason I'm here is because I'm on a lunch break. I've got an hour, a little over an hour, and I'm going to try to ride as many new bus routes as I can in that hour. And the D10 starts one stop that way at the Kennedy Center, so that's going to be the first bus route I'm going to take. Because one thing I like to do is I like to record every bus route that I've been on. And so I've got a whole list of every agency I've been on. I write down the buses that I've been on. There's probably a few from when I was a kid that I can't remember. But now that since yesterday, every single DC bus route has been completely changed, I get to start over. So I haven't been on any of the new bus routes yet. I see the D10 approaching. That is going to be my very first better bus route. And I'm going to just hop on the bus for a short period of time. Whenever I feel like it's a good place to transfer, I'll hop off the bus and get on the next one. Got my Panda Smart Trip. And the thing is, I don't have the transit app because I'm live streaming on my phone. So this is going to be very unplanned, very messy. Hopefully not too much waiting. I'm going to try to stay in downtown DC, also so that I don't get in trouble when this is over and I have to get back. But yeah, we're just going to see what works. Obviously, you could probably do way much more if you looked at the schedules in advance. We're just winging it. Okay, we're going to look at the chat. Awesome. Everybody's telling me to stay hydrated and stay cool. You know what? It is really hot outside today, but it is not as hot as it was last week. So between finding shady spots and being on the bus, I think I should be fine. And if I'm not fine, this is live streamed, so somebody will call 911 for me, right? See if there are any questions that I haven't answered yet. Somebody asked me if I took the F4. Actually, yeah, that was one of the most recent ones I took out in New Carrollton, I believe is when that runs, right? Okay, so the D10 is the first route we're taking, and it's coming right now. Once we're on the bus, I will explain what the... Oh, thank you so much, Stacy. That's so kind. I will explain what the new bus system is, but I'm going to get on the bus now and hopefully not get yelled at for having a tripod. Really? Hello. Good, how are you? Ooh. You guys, we got the new seats. Let me show you. These are way better than the crusty fabric seats.
Northwest. Transfer to blue, orange, and silver line.
So the D10 uses Pennsylvania Avenue. It used to be the 32 and the 36, but now it originates at the Kennedy Center instead of at Potomac Park, which I've always thought was a really weird name because I don't think that park over there is actually called Potomac Park. But So the D in D10, of course, stands for downtown. The DC routes have gotten either a D or a C, C meaning crosstown. Then Alexandria, Arlington have an A. Fairfax Falls Church have an F. Montgomery has an M, and Prince George's has a P. I've made videos about this already, so you should consult those if you want more information. But yeah, the D10 is now the first bus, not only in this live stream, but the first bus that I can add to my list. In some cases, it was just existing routes that got renamed. In other cases, the routes have been completely redesigned. For example, I did a video on the N2, N4 a few months ago. That route is just completely, like, you would have to make 3 or 4 transfers if you wanted to do that whole trip again. And we're driving down New Hampshire Avenue Northwest, which is kind of fun to me because this is a street that used to not have buses, at least this part. Yes, there are a few entirely new routes. Off the top of my head, you have the C85, which starts over here and then goes through Foxhall all the way to Bethesda, but it only runs during rush hours. Oh, thank you, Foxy. Sorry, I forgot to acknowledge that. So we're at Washington Circle. I firmly believe that DC wasn't meant to have cars on their traffic circles because, like, roundabouts can be a great way to keep traffic moving, and yet somehow this is just a mess of, like, 97 traffic lights. And to cross it as a pedestrian will take you a solid 10 minutes. So I've got until 1:20, I think, right? I think I got this on this bus, maybe like 12:22. So I've got until 1:20-ish to get as many routes as possible. So I'll probably try to get off somewhere near Farragut Square, because that's kind of a big bus hub. Oh, we got some people getting on here. So I might have to lower my voice a little bit. The DC Metro Yellow Line will eventually go back to Greenbelt, but that's not until December.
Woo!
Somebody's asking what the temperature is in DC. In the 90s somewhere.
That's all I'm gonna get 70. I'm gonna get 70.
Our guys go 7 months.
Where you going?
I go to my new place. I was on the avenue, but old ones. This way,
Oh,
this
you always
way.
going on the other side.
So that, I go get some dog treats and you got your phone?
Huh?
You got your phone? Your phone? So you uptown by this meeting by 7?
I live all the way up. All the way up. All the way up
What's the
out
post
there
station
with Walmart.
The display signs still give the 2-letter codes, not the 1-letter code.
So, if I get them right,
H Street,
what's
Northwest,
the number?
and 8th Street, Northwest.
HBC.
8th Street and 18th is next.
89.95.
I'll just get off there, honestly.
Sorry.
Stop requested.
So we're trying to ride as many of the new bus routes as possible. Right now we're on the D10, which is the first one of the live stream, for those of you just joining.
Oh.
I have heard about Mark's new plans. Did they announce something today? Because I know they had their they had their presentation last year. Is there new news about Mark that I missed? Thank you, Sam. That's so kind. When it comes to the new metro abbreviations, I don't think the point is to call it the R line or the O line. It's just like one letter can be displayed bigger in the circle, so it's easier to see. But it has been really funny to me how people are like upset about that. I'm like, it's just using one letter versus using two letters.
Air talk.
Okay, let's see if I can get on this bus in front of me. Nope. There it goes. But I'm a short walk away from Farragut Square. There's the D10. That's our first bus. Over here we got D10, D80, D94. I don't know if that D94 is coming because I just missed the D80. Let's just walk to Farragut Square. This is kind of hard to do when you don't have the transit app easily accessible. I'll have you know, sir, I'm in my late 20s and perfectly capable of being unsupervised. It's actually really not as hot as I expected it to be outside today. Oh, there's a bus stop. But I'm seeing an A, which makes me skeptical. It makes me worried that it's a rush hour only route. Yeah, we'll see. Let me cross the street. Maybe I can go backwards. There's the Farragut West Metro Station. I wish more of these bus stops would have the dot matrix screens telling you what time the next bus is coming. Although I do see some strobes over there, so. All right, there we go. We're at the I Street and 18th Street bus stop. We've got a good selection here. We've got A58, which is basically the old 38B, D10, which is the old 32 or 36, D80, which is the old 33, and then D94, and then the F19 is a rush hour thing, so that won't get us anywhere. But over there is Farragut Square. Somebody just asked me in the chat what my favorite fast food is, and I honestly had never thought of that question, so I'm gonna think about that one. So the WMATA bus strobe lights are gonna be our friend today. Every WMATA bus has like the little orange light on the top. They were What route is that? Let's go see. I really hope it's not a D10 because that would suck. The sign doesn't say anything. Well, that's not helpful. I'm gonna walk to Farragut Square. Question, what do I think of all the lines since ATO? I think that ATO is absolutely an improvement, but like any major change, it takes some time to work out issues. So actually on Saturday, I was on a train that overran a platform. And just in general, it's been a hard few weeks with Metro just because of the weather and the crowds and stuff. So I experienced some more delays, but I'm not going to like immediately go and be like, oh, that's ATO's fault. We should have never done that, because I truly believe that that's not related. Any plans when I reach 80K subscribers? Which will probably, hopefully be next month. No plans yet. I don't know, is 80 like a big celebrating number? Obviously, it's really special to me that I ever got this far, but I haven't thought about an 80 subscriber special. I will definitely do something when we reach 100, because, well, 100K, that's like, I can't even believe we're talking about this. I started this channel 11 years ago just because I wanted to do something with the really shaky, low-res phone videos of trains that I was taking in high school. And now we're talking about what are we going to do for 80K? What are we going to do for 100K? Oh, good question. What do routes that cross between counties or states do? Those will just have the letter of whatever jurisdiction they're in the longest, or what they're based in. Okay, we got another sign here, a D72, but I'm going to try my luck over there because a lot of buses start and stop here at Farragut Square. And honestly, I think I'm just going to stay in this part of town, hop on one bus for one stop, and then get off and get on another bus, because this is where a lot of the routes come together. And I'm not making great time. I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting just to have fun and talk to you guys. So I guess we're doing what I was hoping to do. But it would be nice to like not finish this challenge having ridden only 2 buses, you know? Okay, here we go. These are the same routes as the stop earlier. Once again, D10, D80, D94, F19. No A59 here. Here's one of the new maps. They honestly, like, from a design perspective, they look better than the old maps, but from a user perspective, like what am I supposed to read here? Like, sure, the D96 goes that way, CA5 goes that way, but then where, like, it's too, I don't know. I feel like I'm a decently good transit map reader, and I don't really know what to do with this. But here we see, you know, A routes in Arlington, D and C in DC, M routes in Montgomery, P routes in Prince George's. I don't think there's any Fs on here. Oh, well, there's an F that goes to Fairfax. If we round the corner over here, we've got A58, D20, that's the new X2, right? And then the D70, which is the new L2. Yeah, let's see what shows up here. Oh, there's a screen. Okay, we've got an A58 in 3 minutes and a D20 in 7 minutes. What if we get on that A58 for one stop and then try to make it back here in time for that second D20? I feel like that should be possible. I got a question. Where do I think WMATA should add more infill stations? I think there could be a case for one between Spring Hill and Wheelie, like at Wolf Trap or something. I don't know if the events venue itself would justify the construction cost, but you could probably build stuff around there. Otherwise, in terms of distances between stations, I don't know. Is there anything between Ballston and East Falls Church that could merit ridership? Am I going to share an opinion on the MTA Queens bus redesign? No, because frankly, I don't really know anything about the old Queens bus network. I'm getting lots of recommendations in the chat of places I should visit. I'm hearing London, Glasgow. People are like, go back to Tokyo. I promise you guys, I'm going to do that as soon as possible. Okay, now it's getting kind of hot. Now that sun is beating on me, I'm like, oof. But yeah. We're waiting another 2 minutes for the next A58, which is the replacement for the 38B. That's a route that goes from Farragut Square through Georgetown, across the river into Virginia, and then now it's been extended. It used to only go to Ballston. Now it goes to Seven Corners, although the bus we're getting on is going to be a short trip to Ballston. I'm only going to ride it for 1 or 2 stops and then try to get on something else over here, because our goal today is to ride as many of the new WMATA buses as possible in 1 hour. And I'm not using the transit app, which is why I'm failing miserably at this challenge. But so far we've been on the D10. I've got my Panda Smart Trip. Get 2 hours of free transfers. I won't need the full 2 hours, but it's nice to have. Are people talking about Michigan right now? Oh, somebody asked, have I ever been to Michigan? Well, I have a fun fact for you. I went to college in Michigan. I lived there for 4 years, and I actually even got married in Michigan. So yes, I have been there. Any plans to return to Toronto this summer? You know, I had talked about it because Lindsay had never been before. And she was like, I really want to go. But we haven't booked anything yet, so we'll see. We might do that later. Do I have plans to ride Amtrak's Mardi Gras when it opens up? Of course, as soon as I know when. What has that been pushed back to? September now? I think it was September. And then, yeah, I've never been to New Orleans, Louisiana. Oh, which route is that? D72. Oh, sorry, I turned the audio off accidentally. We're on the D72. I made it. Over there is another D72. What does this one replace? Anybody know? No, what happened is I tried to flip my camera and instead I turned the audio off. Oh, this one goes to Van Ness. I think this is like kind of a replacement for the 42, 43. Oh, Larry beat me to it. Anyway, where were we in our conversation? Yes, I do have plans to go to Six Flags America here in DC this summer, because it is closing in the fall, and that's sad. I'm trying to get a group of friends to go to the water park with me I was talking about it on Saturday and people were like, yeah, we're down. So hopefully that happens soon. Got to figure out if there's a way to get there by transit. I don't think there is. Okay, so we're weaving through the miserable traffic of Farragut Square. Now we're on Connecticut Avenue. I'm gonna go to Dupont Circle, I think. Somebody's hailing the bus by stretching their arm out. Oh, there's a D70 3 minutes behind us. So yeah, let me ride till Dupont and then figure out if waiting for that D70 is faster or if I can get on something else even faster. The Mardi Gras opening date will be announced tomorrow, you say? There any way we could get some insider information and book before it gets expensive? No, it's okay. I don't want you to lose your job. All right, somebody says, guess what? I'm worried. There are so many things that I love about DC, but the traffic lights are not one of them. I don't have a car and I cycle or take transit everywhere. And sometimes you just have to wait a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And it's super frustrating. I get a question, when am I going back to Atlanta? When the new Stadler trains are in service. Question, is it hot in DC today? Yeah, I think it's, in terms of Fahrenheit, upper 80s, lower 90s. But it's not as bad as it was last week. Last week was truly brutal, and then suddenly Friday it was only 70 something and it felt super cold. I wore like jeans and a sweater. People are asking for my thoughts on the Salt Lake City transit system, and I have to say, with my political like preconceptions, I was very pleasantly surprised by how good the transit was there. We spent all day using the Trax light rail. I didn't get to ride the front runner, but I saw it. And
Stop requested.
my favorite part of Salt Lake City Transit was the S line. Thoughts on the Philly Greyhound Flixbus situation? I mean, I can't keep track of that. They keep moving, right? Last time I took a Greyhound out of Philadelphia, it was right in front of Independence Hall, like on Market Street by that huge Wawa. So that wasn't terrible, but I don't think they're even there anymore. Oh, that location sounds miserable. It's under the highway at Spring Garden. That should be a crime. Okay. Yes. Thank you. I don't know what she said. Something about S Street. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. She dropped me off at a stop that's technically closed. What the heck? Look, we got 42, 43, L2, N2, N4, and 6. This bus stop will be removed. And then that sign, I don't think you can read it, but buses no longer stop here. And then the same message in Spanish, which I'm not going to attempt because my Spanish pronunciation could be better. I speak a bunch of languages, but Spanish is not one of them. Okay. Well, so my plan was to maybe get on the following D70, but I don't think that D70 will be stopping where I got off because it's technically not a stop. So now we have to find the nearest stop, maybe go back to Farragut Square over there. There's a stop right there. That was bizarre. Technically it's day 2 of the redesign, but still, I'll cut her some slack. I just wish I knew what she said. You guys, over here, this is a very important landmark. This is a tate where I wrote part of my master's thesis, so it'll get a historical marker soon, I think. Okay, well over here it's D70 and D72 again. So hopefully a D70 shows up so we can actually add to our counter. Let's see what the times are. Otherwise I'm just gonna walk to the circle and get on a different route. Oh, of course, no screen. And no printed timetable either. So, that's fun. Let's just keep walking to Dupont Circle then. I will welcome any opportunity to walk in the shade for a little bit. Anyway, while we have 104 people watching, let me maybe talk a little bit about live streams because it's been a long time since I've done one of these. They are something that I really enjoy doing. I'm probably not really the best at them. Sometimes I don't know what to say. Sometimes I have trouble like, oh, something's rounding the corner. Run, run, run. But what I was going to say is I think that there's a way to do these live streams a little bit more regularly, maybe a little bit with a little bit more structure. The thing that kind of makes me sometimes not want to do them is when there are a lot of like weirdos in the chat. Which, speaking of that recent video I did from Boston, that was just insane how many trolls. Oh. Well, that bus just took the circle, so we walked back for nothing but the exercise. But anyways, so another thing that I don't do very much, but that I should do more, is my Patreon. I know some creators, like, they're very Patreon focused. They like do early releases, or they do bonus content. I'm not calling you weirdos, I'm calling normal, like, you guys are normal. Sometimes there are weirdos, and that's discouraging. So anyways, I think I'm going to completely like redo my Patreon, have there just be like one really cheap tier, And then the Patreon perk will be access to, I don't know, maybe like a monthly live stream or something. That way, there's a tiny bit of oversight as to who has access to the live streams. But at the same time, it also gives me a reason for a Patreon to exist, because right now I don't really feel comfortable promoting my Patreon because I don't really do anything with it. Some creators do early access, do bonus content. Frankly, I'm too busy for early access. And when it comes to bonus content, like, my favorite part of the creator process is sharing with as many people that want to watch as possible. So if I make a video, I'm going to end up just wanting to publish it normally. Thank you, Sam. You've been very generous today. So yeah, I'm going to be working on that. I do actually have some bonus content coming this summer. I'm working on a really, really exciting project. A project that's going to bring my travels to Mexico City together with, you know, living in DC. But because the project is so big, there's going to be like one main video and then multiple kind of supplementary bonus videos. So just be on the lookout for a fresh, renewed Patreon. And in the meantime, just go to Trains Are Awesome for your regular content. I'm really excited about tomorrow's video. Let me give you guys an exclusive preview. I filmed this with my friend 29 Down the Line. He's a Virginia-based transit creator. Makes really good stuff. We went to Reston Town Center to ride the buses there. So if you're curious what's going on in Reston Town Center, or if you're curious about how we ended up at a barbecue place of all places, well, I suggest watching our video tomorrow afternoon. Oh, thank you, Mike. That's so kind of you. Okay, so we're at New Hampshire Avenue. Here's the Admiral. For some reason, like, colleges and universities like to do happy hours here. Food's fine. I mean, it's nothing to write home about, but it's like a famous DC spot. I'm gonna get killed by a Capital Bike Share. Not today, Satan. But yeah, New Hampshire Avenue, I believe this street now also sees bus service when it previously didn't. So that's cool. I'm walking around the circle. I think my note to self is to do this with the transit app next time. So just bring a second phone, because we're halfway done. And we've ridden 2 routes. See if we can get 5 today, okay? I see bus stops here. Do I have plans to collaborate with other content creators? Well, so I actually just filmed a collab with Classy Whale a few weeks ago when I was in Philly. And the video is actually edited. I just need to wait to release it for a few more weeks because of stuff. But yeah, we've got that. And then Classy Whale and I, of course, are judging his DC Dreamin' competition. So we got, I believe, 18 submissions. And now I have to watch all of them to figure out who deserves first place. Okay, we got the C91. Maybe we just change the challenge to how many bus stop signs I saw. And then over there are 2 routes. I don't know which, but let's see if anything's coming. Nope, nothing. So I used to come to Dupont Circle quite a decent amount because I would have meetings here and stuff. But I seem to recall there always being more buses. Oh, there's one. Where's that going? I think that might be the C91. So let's see if we can make it back there. That bus is not in service. I agree with the person who just wrote W community. We do have a great community here. It's probably good for me to be out of the sun for a little bit. I'm hoping the bus I saw on the other side of the circle is the C91. I think that's the replacement for the either the D2 or the G2 or the D6, who knows. I'm not super worried about being able to remember the new routes. I think I moved here a little over 2 years ago and I had to figure out the whole bus system. So I think I can do it again. But if there are people who need help, obviously I am more than willing to be the person who helps, and I'm sure all of you are too. True, most of the buses in Dupont are probably stuck in traffic. Including the bus I'm waiting. No. That's the D94, that's the old D6, and it's turning. And I don't know where the nearest stop is, but there's no way I'm running on the live stream again. Oh, there's the stop. It's not even that far. Oh, come on. Maybe I should redo this and like have a plan drawn out. And that could be kind of fun. All right, there goes the D94. I'm gonna walk back to my C91 stop. Hey, D'Angelo, you're here. I think I'm gonna walk up Connecticut Avenue and just catch whatever comes down first. I feel like I've sufficiently cooled off in the shade that I can go for another few minutes. There's a CVS that normally blasts really loud music to deter people, but not right now. Oh no, it's not music. That one has an alarm. It's the one in Chinatown that blasts the music. Ooh. There's the D90 to Mount Vernon Square. So that's basically the N2 and N4 replacement. But that takes Massachusetts Avenue over there, which is another street that didn't have bus service until Better Bus. At least that part of Massachusetts Avenue. Okay, you guys didn't see this. I think I am 99% to blame for my epic failure today. But that one remaining percent I will blame on getting dropped off at an inexistent bus stop, because that really wrecked my chances of transferring. And then I kept making the bad decisions myself. So yeah, that is my expert opinion. I'm trying to figure out. Anyways, while we wait to hopefully ride another bus, does anybody have any other questions for me about the channel or? Oh yes, the grading I passed is one of the. Let me show you over there. One of the entrances to the old streetcar system. Right here, they're all over the circle. This one is not part of Dupont Underground. I'm not really sure where this would lead you if you could get in. But yeah, that was a fun project. The streetcar video, one of my favorite things I've ever done. Really, really proud of how it turned out. Okay, I've seen this question several times today, so I'm going to answer it. My opinion on the SEPTA cuts. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that I think those are bad. I don't think we should be cutting transit. I don't think we should be getting rid of the DC streetcar even. I think the only way to improve transit is to improve it, and any step backwards is extremely difficult to undo. So with these SEPTA cuts, right, like hopefully that's a temporary thing, and when the funding is eventually restored someday, they can run trains on the Trenton line, the Wilmington line, stuff like that. Again, in theory. But is that service going to see as many trains as it does now? Is it going to be as useful? We don't even have a guarantee that it would be restored. So I think in every situation where it is even remotely possible, we should be preventing reduction. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about too, Foxy. But that's as political as I'll get today. Ooh, there's a store over there called Tokyo Pearl. I'm kind of worried it's like a nightclub or something, but it's got a cool name at least. Okay. Yeah, Chicago is tough, especially now that they have that map of what's going to get cut. And there are people in Chicago that are in such denial, where I'm like, have you been paying attention? So there's this Instagram account called The Transit Guy, and he published the map of the proposed Chicago cuts. And you know, like the southern side of the green line is missing, and the blue line past UIC, and the whole, I think the whole pink line, right? I don't know. No, and the orange line. And the whole comments are filled with people who be like, this is just political grandstanding. This will never actually happen. Oh, you guys, this is a D72. But you know what? I'm going to cut my losses. I'm going to actually get on it, go back to Farragut Square, and... Hello. Hope for some redemption. Right now I'm on the D72 again. I'll get to those questions once I step outside. This is really loud. Okay, so there was one question in the chat that was just asked. Can you guys hear me okay? That I think was pretty relevant, pretty good question. And that question was, what advice do you have to start a YouTube channel? And I think my advice would be, stay true to yourself and lower your expectations. And that last one sounds really harsh, but let me explain. So I started this channel 11 years ago, and I never ever had the mindset of like, I want to get rich doing this, I want to go viral, I want this to be what I do. I just did it because I really like trains, and I really wanted an outlet to express myself and to share that passion. And so over the years, I kind of started exploring what felt right in terms of content. So I discovered when I was 17, I think, that I really enjoyed the vlog style. And then I started doing more of those. And I found out, you know, that I'm more interested in buses than I once thought. So I started doing more bus videos. And now I'm at a point where every morning I wake up and I just cannot believe what's happened. Like, I'm floored, and it's because I never had the expectation that I was going to be huge. Like, I really just did this, I think, for the right reasons. And yeah, there are ways to like do YouTube in a way that makes you a lot of money really fast. Ooh. But I don't find that stuff enjoyable to watch. So make stuff that you would find enjoyable to watch and see where it goes. Don't quit your day job. There's the D70. I've decided I don't like this bus. Which one is that? Oh, A58. I need this one. Nope. Okay. I got my bag to go. All right, we got a screen here. We got a screen. D94, 12 minutes. D10 for D80, 10. Alright, we can do better than that. We can do better than that. Oh, a question if I'm going to do more partnership videos where I use other people's footage. I only have one planned right now. So, yeah, I've got one video also filmed by Nonstop Eurotrip, who's just a really good friend of mine. But for the most part, I'll stick to footage that I film myself or that I have my brother Bear film. Just because that's more enjoyable. It's more enjoyable when you get to actually see places yourself. It's what I find more enjoyable to watch too. I've never really been a huge fan of like the armchair commentator style videos. There's nothing wrong with them, and they're very knowledgeable people. I just much more prefer to see people actually experience things for themselves. How is DC now compared to 10 years ago? I don't know. I think it's pretty great here. Obviously, politics can kind of influence the mood, but overall, I really enjoy living here. Man, I really thought, oh, I'll go to Farragut Square. The buses will just come throw themselves at me. And I was wrong. Overall, though, I do think the transition has gone pretty smoothly. Yesterday, I was in Alexandria doing some shopping, and at least 8 people walked up to me and were like, hey, our buses are changing. Do you know what your new route is? And they gave me a hand sanitizer, and so they score points with outreach. And I haven't seen any reports of like major meltdowns or anything. I was curious to see how the first weekday would go, because by the end of the summer, everybody's going to be used to this. Mark my words, like it's a big change and all that. But if you're using transit, like, it'll be okay. I have a genuine question for people. Do I, in my content, come across as an optimist? Because I've seen people say that on multiple occasions, especially outside of YouTube. Just so weird to see people talk about you and your personality on the internet. But I was wondering if that is something that people share, because if so, like, that makes me happy. I don't always feel that way myself, but if that's the way I come across, then oh, you guys are so kind. Hello. That's the first time words have ever been exchanged in a situation like that, at least in my experience. Usually it's just a head nod. Is there anything specifically about DC, content-wise, that people would be really interested to learn more about? I'm not making any promises, but just asking out of curiosity. I'm gonna sit down in this bus shelter and read. Alexandria content, okay. DC shopping malls. Oh, the Virginia Scenic Railroad. Yes, I know. I love to that. Oh, University of Maryland Bus Network. That's a great idea, actually. I'm trying to... I keep meaning to reach out to the school I just graduated from to do a piece on their bus system. Doable nature outings. Okay. The fare system. VRE. Okay, so I am working on a video about regional rail in the city right now. The old rail, the Washington and Old Dominion, yes. Working on that too. Well, not really working on it. Station reviews. Old abandoned rail lines. Yeah, that's kind of the angle, that's kind of the direction I was going in. I'm really interested in the CSX, I think it's called the Bowie subdivision. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. But the one that runs from Bowie down through Marlboro and into like South Maryland, because it has a really funny history. Okay, dash content. Right. Six Flags. Yeah, I think if I do go to Six Flags, I'll at least make a short out of it. I'm not a huge shorts guy, but I do find them nice when I want to like talk about something that I just don't want to put the effort in for a full video, but I do want to share. So like the road zipper, like I don't really think I would make like a road zipper video per se, because it's just kind of almost too far out of my niche. Although you guys know I'm very liberal when it comes to what I do and don't include in a video. Got a request for more New York City Purple Line updates. Oh, are you in for a treat? Because I just finished filming that. So depending on if I can get work and stuff done this week, it might be Saturday. Otherwise, it'll be next Saturday. It's 56 minutes of raw footage, so I'm hoping to condense that into 40 minutes or so. But I walked and cycled the whole route. So from New Carrollton all the way to Bethesda over the span of a few days. It's going to feature a cameo from my friend Bryce. If you guys remember him, it's been way too long since we filmed something together, so I'm really excited to edit that. But yeah. I'm impressed by the progress of the Purple Line at some parts, and then at some parts I'm like, oh, are you guys gonna make it in 2.5 years? But mostly it's really good progress. Oh, I wish I'd seen that coming earlier. And we got a request for new Acela train content. Yeah, whenever I find out they start running, I've heard rumors July 7th, but I highly doubt that. But you know I'll be on one of the first trains. I never like to promise being on the first train, but I usually like to try to be there early. Western Maryland Scenic Railroad. See, a while back, I finally turned the age where I can now just rent a car without any issues. So, like all these scenic roads in the region, I might do that now that I can. I mean, otherwise I'd have Lindsay rent it because she's a little bit older than I am. But now we can both just rent. How long does it take me to edit a video? That is a good question. So, obviously, that is dependent on several factors. Of course, the length of the video, the amount of research I have to do. Like a DC video or a Tokyo video, you know, I know a decent amount of stuff already. Whereas if I'm traveling somewhere for the first time, that's a little bit more effort. And then a big thing for me is voiceover versus talking to the camera. The more I talk to the camera, the quicker I can edit, because the voiceover just takes me a while. I don't know why. I have to write the script. I have to do all that. And then making the graphics. So the more graphics, the more maps and labels the video needs, the longer it takes. So I would say a short, easy video I can do in 3 to 4 hours, and a long video like 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. I try to go for a balance of improving my quality. It's too loud here. I try to go for a balance of improving my quality while at the same time keeping my sanity, so that I'm spending time with Lindsay, spending time with Louie, my sweet, adorable poodle, who's taking a nap right now, that I can get work done, because I like to stay employed, stuff like that. So yeah, I think this thing has horribly failed, so I'm gonna change the title to Chatting While Riding New Buses or something like that. But it has been really nice to catch up with you guys. We'll go for another 5 minutes and then I'll end the stream. Let me read through some of these comments. Got a whole conversation about ITCEs going on. Oh, a request for a random facts of the Metro video. That seems like something that Andy should do now that he's done all of his secrets of the Metro. I have not yet done the Baltimore Streetcar Museum. Okay. One person on my video commented that the new Baltimore subway cars are in service. I checked Instagram, I checked Reddit, I checked the news, I checked YouTube, and I cannot find any source that says that. Because if it was true, I was going to go to Baltimore this week. But I don't think it is true. So if anybody knows, they are, really. Okay. So if I went there on a weekday this week, what are my chances of finding one? I love things like this. It makes me feel like I'm in the Alps or something. You totally should make videos. I always encourage everybody to give it a try. My friend Classy Whale, Caleb, I don't know if he still does them, but he used to do these workshops where you could start a video, make it, and then he'd help you make it better. So okay, I'm not seeing any more information on the Baltimore stuff, but I'll keep checking. I got a request for leased use stations, and while I understand the appeal of that kind of content, it's just not for me. I feel like it's been a little bit overdone, and I don't need to be another person contributing to that. And yeah, I would enjoy making other content more than a leased use station video. I think there's no short supply of that. Jeff Marshall started it, and then everybody else did it. So I don't even know if he started it. He's just the first person I saw to do it. There's a bunch of little like shuttles here to take federal workers to their office buildings. It's kind of fun. What kind of camera do I use? I use an iPhone 15. Yeah. I even do some of my editing, like my initial editing on my iPhone, just because it's easy if I'm commuting. I can get work done without having to pull out a laptop. I can't read that, it's too bright. Anyway, I'll walk to a shady spot, we'll end the live stream, and then you guys can make fun of me for failing so pathetically at this challenge that I designed for myself. Although I am thinking maybe on the weekend, I'll drag Lindsay with me and she'll use her transit app and we'll try it for real. Like, we'll be strategic and smart about it. But for now, I need to get back to work. I need to get into some AC. And have lunch. Yeah, that'll be fun. Oh, there's a shady spot over there. Let's go. Have my DC-based viewers been using their credit or debit cards on the Metro at all? Because ever since my university pass expired, that's kind of what I've been doing. And it got to the point where I forgot to load my Smart Trip, and I was waiting for a bus, and then I couldn't get on the bus because I'd gotten so used to using my credit card. Okay. Well, anyways, Better Bus is now not just an idea for the future, but it is the reality. Today, I have added the D10 and the D72 to my list of routes that I've been on. And over the next few weeks and months, I'm going to add a lot more, hopefully. I think I had almost 50 of the old routes under my belt. So we'll see when we can beat that. Yeah, tomorrow, a video from Reston, Virginia. Saturday or next week, a video on the Purple Line. And then when it comes to Patreon, we're going to revamp that and make it like a way to access more of these live streams for a very low price. I don't really believe in ripping people off for stuff like that. So thank you to everybody who was in the chat. Thank you for behaving like great people. I really appreciate that. Take these off. Yeah, this was a very fun stream, and it's thanks to you guys. I always enjoy these conversations. Stay cool out there for my viewers in the Northern Hemisphere, because I do have a bunch of Australian viewers that always like to remind me it's winter there. It is about the farthest thing from winter outside today, but I'm not upset about it. It was a brutal spring. Okay. Have a good day, everybody.